Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to be talking about Territe farming. We're going to kind of skirt the controversy right now because a lot of people are getting really hyped up and frustrated because a lot of content creators are making videos about how, ridiculous Territe is and all of that. But I want to actually just do a video focusing on Territe itself because I do believe many people are misinformed about it, and many people actually probably don't know how to farm it well, and kind of what it's going to look like in the future. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the experiments that I've been running. So let's go ahead and dig in. So I've been testing for the last couple of nights the different styles of Territe farming that are out there. And we've kind of discovered a couple of things, and I want to share those with the community because I think it's important to know how this works, right? We have a lot of people on the global side right now that are very angry about Territe because it wasn't on the JP or Korean side and we're not getting diamonds for it. And that's totally fine. But I think we do need to understand, how this works and how we potentially may actually be able to farm a lot of this in the future. So if you don't know how Territe works, Territe is only dropped out in the Chaos Fields, and it's only dropped in Chaos Fields 1, 2, 3 right now. Important thing to note here, as we're doing this video, is that Chaos Fields 4 and 5 are going to be coming out in the future. We're also going to have Chaos Field bosses coming out. So we don't know what that's going to look like in global, but it's quite possible we could see a large amount of Territe drop from that, or potentially diamonds. Now, on each of the floors, they all have different Territe drop rates. On floor 1, you get 1 Territe per proc. On floor 2, you get 2 Territes per proc. And on floor 3, you get 4 Territe per proc. Now, depending on if you're in a party or not is going to impact how much you can farm Territe. So you are able to share EXP, you're able to share gold in your party. You do also share Territe drops, although it's not the identical drop that your allies are getting. It's only a percentage chance. So how we tested this is we set up an AFK farm with myself and my husband, and I was farming monsters with him off in the distance, close enough to get gold and EXP, but not far enough to hit the enemies, right? And he literally just AFK'd there, and we farmed, and what we found after a couple of hours is that I had 4 Territe and he had 2. So you do share Territe drops in a party, and that's probably the first big discovery that we found. And since then, we have been testing different ways of getting Territe. The other thing that seems to be going on is that Territe is dependent on how fast you kill as well. Now, while this is true for drops in general, this is really true if you want to farm Territe in a Territe party. A lot of players are going to floor 3, right? And they're going right to high level monsters, and it's taking them a long time to kill those monsters, when the reality is you could kill floor 2, floor 1 monsters significantly faster. Or you could do what my group did and what my guild did as we were testing, and you can use your alts to both farm EXP and gold on your alts. You can see here I got 1.5 million EXP on my alt. I got 225,000 gold on my alt. I got a whole bunch of materials and books, and you can kind of live the best of both worlds. So what I basically did is what the results that you're looking at right now are a alt party. And this is on floor 1 with level 30 alts, and we are just grinding out monsters for about 10 hours. This is a 10-hour auto AI farm, and in that time, people left, people came. So this is not completely 5 people farming for 10 hours. This is more like 5 people in and out farming for 10 hours, but we kind of did the best that we could do, right? Now, why this is important when you look at this and you're like, oh, it's only 33 Territe. Well, you have to understand that as the game is going to progress and the game is going to go forward, this is going to scale with your farming and your level and your capability. So you're going to get into floor 2, right? And floor 2 is going to give you twice the drops. So if I had done this exact same thing in floor 2 with my alts in the future, all of a sudden I'm looking at 66 Territe. If I'm looking at floor 3, I'm looking at upwards of 120 Territe, right? So as Territe is scaling, as the floors are rising, you are going to be able to farm Territe significantly faster. So I think this is a big factor that people are kind of misunderstanding with Territe, is that it is going to scale relatively quickly according to your level. And even though it wasn't on the JP and Korean side, I don't really want to weigh in on that because, again, that's kind of a separate issue that, you know, I do have feelings about, and I do think there are some problems associated with Territe. But I do think that, you know, potentially there is a world in the future where we are actually going to be farming Territe at quite a regular basis. Another thing that I'm looking at is content that's going to be releasing over the next couple of months. That will be things like Monster Nest, potentially. That'll be like the boss battles or the tier 4 or tier 5 of chaos floors. If you could imagine, if the Territe has been doubling every single floor, right? And then all of a sudden we're on, you know, chaos floor 4. That means that you're going to be getting 8 Territe per drop, in which case it may be worth it just to farm up there and farm regular monsters while you're farming your materials in order to, you know, get a moderate amount of Territe. So there's a lot of things coming down the pipeline. There's a lot of things that I'm testing and that my guild is testing and other people are testing in order to figure out what the best way to farm and use Territe is. There's a lot of things coming down the pipeline as well in terms of events for the game, right? We're probably going to get some type of an event here next week. For those that don't know, Netmarble is pretty good at doing 2-week updates, and they usually implement updates in a 2-week pattern. So you are probably going to see an event starting next Tuesday, I would imagine, or this coming Tuesday. And we'll probably, you know, get some type of an update to the Territe system. I doubt we'll see an increased drop rate. But we may be given Territe, or potentially we may see some thresholds changed, which could also help the game, right? So it'll be really interesting to see what's going on, kind of how they kind of tackle this hurdle. But for right now, this video, I really just wanted to get our Territe information out there for how we are testing it out, how we're farming it, what we're doing, and kind of what we're looking at for the future, so that you guys can make the best decision you need to make for if you need to farm Territe. You know, maybe you need to get some alts on floor 2 potentially and get 66 Territe for a 10-hour farm session, you know, something like that. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you guys next time.